Welcome, folks. Another episode of the Sports Science associated with covering elite receivers training video. I'm your host, Tyrone A. Vance. Today, we're going to cover the 10-yard out. Obviously, as we're doing the 10-yard out, we're going to reverse the cones and also do the same thing for the dig route, a little 10-yard dig route. So, all right, let's get started here. Equipment. This is a 5-cone drill, 5 cones. Big cone represents the receiver. Small cone represents the defensive back. All right, let's get this started here. So we set up our drill. This drill right here, we're going to be working on our 8-yard drop. Remember we said when we practice, we want to practice exploding 2 yards back, 3 yards back, 5 yards back, and 8 yards back. Now, can we make adjustments on our back foot, changing direction at any given moment? Yeah, sure. It just depends on how quick we read it. But for the most part, we know that when a receiver gets about 10 yards, I'm going to be about 12 yards back. I'm already 4 yards off him. Now that went an additional 8, that's about at the apex of where I can go without my cushion being eaten up. And that's why, thus another reason why we have to develop an explosive back pedal. One, we can get a good read. Our shoulders is parallel to the line of scrimmage. I can see ball coming out. A lot of times I can see the motion of the quarterback's arm. And then I look with my peripheral vision, I still got waist to foot, and I see that ball coming out, so it's all simultaneously starting to click. So as his foot plants, since that foot gonna plant, and then he's gonna go back toward the out. Now, the only variation he can run off of this is 2 things. He can keep straight, that's just a seam route. So if he gonna keep straight and run the seam, I don't see any cuts, I don't see the ball being released. Now I know it's a seam, so I'm going to quickly swivel my hips and just run to his outside elbow, as we talked about in this section of the drill when we went over the slant and go. As long as you stay at that elbow, you have an opportunity to make a play. And you'll see some of those plays being made by some of those defensive backs if you look at some of those videos, suggested videos that I posted up. And here again, I'm going to be posting more and more game of the week, play of the week, pass of the week, defensive play of the week. I'll be critiquing that week to week, so it's always a good thing to tune in. I have new material explaining situationals that happen on the field. So let's go over this. The only other variation here, and he can run, is a comeback. Sometimes they'll take an extra step or two, come back toward the sideline, and come back to the football. They'll come back to the football if they'll run a 10, but they only need 8. So they'll run a 10 to come back to the football. Now, this is a difficult route to cover, so you got to practice it quite often, especially on that comeback route. You got to be right. You can't even miss a beat on that when they throw. That's a long throw, but you got to be right when he makes his cut. You hitting off that back foot. So if it's 8 yards, you're actually hitting off that ninth foot. That'll be the back foot pushing back off toward the sideline. So, and using peripheral vision here again, I say my shoulders will be parallel to the line of scrimmage, so I actually can see the ball coming out. Simultaneously, I'm watching the waist to foot, and you start to get a feel for when that 10-yard out is developing. And additionally, watching film, you kind of get a general idea of what they like to run. Receivers like to run a certain way, and they generally use the same moves, the same as defensive backs. Receivers, they look at film at us too, so be advised. They're watching us. They know what we're susceptible to. You'll see film where the same defensive back will get beat by the receiver off the same move. He'll do the same type of action. Either get all the way turned around, lose sight of the man because he he fell for the first jab move, or he'll freeze his hips too quickly and can't recover. He'll fall for a stutter and go move. He'll just freeze up. His eyes will be bad. It won't be watching the waist of foot of the receiver. It'll be looking back into the quarterback. You'll see that a lot. So watch some of those best route videos. That's the suggested video of the day. The best route videos. That'll point out a lot of misalignments, bad vision of the eyes, not reading the routes correctly. So let's continue. All right, so we want to practice over and over again going to the out, but we also want to practice this over and over again on the inside route. Now on the inside route, it's just a dig route, but we still outside because we're expecting an out here by the cue. Now, if he did move out here and did a 10-yard dig route, he'll probably come out just a little bit. It could be in motion. Could motion out here, come back up 10 yards, and then dig back in. But they want to allow some space here for the inside move. So if you see that, and definitely if you see it on film, note that they may like to do that. They go in motion toward the sideline. The receiver come up the field 10 yards, and he'll do a 10-yard dig. So, but we would have already practiced that because we would have set our cones here and here, and they're closer to the numbers. Same action. We'd have went back 8 yards, planted our foot on that knife step, went inside. I'm sorry, I got this. This guy should be, outside shade. If he come here, you want to be inside shade. So if you go in motion, let's put him in motion. Let's put this guy in motion here. Now if you go in motion, and he comes here, we want to be inside shade. Once we see that, then we'll position ourselves on this inside shoulder, anticipating he's going to make some type of inside move. So here again, it just takes a lot of practice and repetition. Sports science say it takes about 20 hours just running this of field work in order to ingrain it in muscle memory. But once you do, it's the greatest thing you can ever do. It's just like being a great jump shooter. You just know it's going in as soon as it releases your wrist, your hand. You just know that ball is going in because you've already seen it time and time again. And that's the advantage I really had over a lot of receivers. It's not that I knew what the route was. I knew how to read the route. There is a difference, and that's the reason why they teach route reading. Today, they don't teach that. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of work. But being great, what doesn't? Being great takes a lot of work. I don't care what it is. It just takes a lot of work. But it's rewarding work because you'll be the best in the game. You'll be able to get those big paydays, get that scholarship to college. You'll be able to get in that starting lineup quicker. You'll be able to get that big pro contract. And the sooner you start developing the skill set, the better for you coaches. It'll make your defenses better. Your defenses could now be more aggressive because you can trust your outside personnel that they can read routes and make plays on the ball, making it very difficult for the quarterback. If the quarterback is getting pressured and he's making late throws, we just breaking on the balls. So in upcoming sessions, we're going to talk about goal line because it is a difference when we get in the red zone of how you should play certain routes. And I'll be getting into that discussion as soon as those drills come up. Now, also, don't forget, I'm willing to travel. I like training. I like passing down this technique. I can't take it with me, so I love teaching it. So go to Coach Up, look me up, tight ends, football, and we can negotiate something. They'll send me your information, and we can coordinate by email. And once we get it coordinated and get confirmed on what we want to do and why we want to do it, I'll be there. I got that watchful eye. I know what I'm looking for. So I can be helpful to a lot of programs. So hope to see you guys soon, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next session. Thanks for tuning in.